there's a body of work that has affected, well, millions of people at this point in time. And I want to talk with you a little bit about your involvement in the creation of that body of work, which a lot of people have come to know it as Kundalini Yoga as taught by Yogi Bhajan, who was your teacher.
Yes, indeed.
Can you speak about the first time you ever met Yogi Bhajan?
Sure. I'm always remembering it. Can't forget it. It was wonderful. I'd been trying to find more about how to find the self, how to get consciousness, those kinds of things when I was quite young and I was in graduate school. And I kept having a kind of premonition, a kind of feeling something special was about to happen. And I fought that a bit because I didn't like to chase dreams so much. But still, intuition is intuition. So on that day, as it turns out, to make it short, he came to the college where I was that day. And even though I was trying not to find anything, people actually knocked on my door and handed me a free press and said, hey, this guy is out there. I called Los Angeles and who is he? And the thing that struck me it wasn't just the feeling that something is happening, but the fact that it said Kundalini Yoga. And at that time, it was 1969, you couldn't get anyone representing Kundalini Yoga. There are many rumors, but in all of them, it said there's something that wakes us up no matter what technique you do, whether it's prayer, whether it's Taoism, Buddhism, whether it's you're an atheist, but you feel a sensitivity to the cosmos and yourself. There's this thing called deep awareness, true self speaking through you in your life. Well, I was interested in that. And so, and usually it was shrouded in secret, initiations and all this. And here's something just said, it's open. So I said, oh, all right. And I called and they said, well, it's at this campus. That's where I am. I looked out the window. That's where it is. So I ran over. And it was just an hour before the class. So I did the class. It was let's say it was fabulous. He was expressive. The energy was palpable. I used to always see these things you call auras and lights and get intuitions about people since I was a little kid. And didn't talk about it much, but it was around. My grandmother was that way too. Anyway, so I went to the class and the class literally lit up. It was like, give me shades. This is too bright. And I felt fantastic. So I had so many questions. This was the thing I'd been trying to connect with. And I was also skeptical because I've seen so many teachers go this way and that. I want something that put the energy and the realization in the individual because I wasn't trying to join something. Anyway, so after the class, I went up and I just went right to him. I said, sir, that was a fantastic class. I have questions. And he just looked at me, and he said, nah. He tapped me on the side of the head and says, you're a teacher. And I said, oh. And then he kind of challenged me because I was full of questions. Later he said, you're so full of questions, you have to be the answer man as your karma. The purpose right from the beginning was very simple for me, and I think for him. And that was, make a difference in people's lives. Give them a tool. Give them a clear pathway, something that is not based on just believing a lot of things or knowing a lot of things, but an ability to have practical wisdom, make wise choices, bring yourself into that. So that's what all of these things are, whether it was teacher training, all the different levels on that, the 21 stages, which is just, I had to put that in. That was kind of my last hurrah of that particular relation, because I'd worked with it off and on with him over a number of years.
Yes.
Because it was so special. So all those things were there, and it was a intimate learning and collaborative process.
Thank you very much. I obviously want to talk a lot about the 21 stages of meditation and the course that's coming up in Los Angeles. But before I get there,
Sure.
I just will tell you personally that, as you know about me, I am coming from a history of drug addiction, and I've spent many decades myself looking at the challenge of addiction in a broader sense, not just drugs and alcohol, but all the addictions that human beings get tripped up by. I took the level 1 Aquarian teacher training, which you co-authored with Yogi Bhajan, and that training changed my life forever. And when there's too much to say about it. But if someone said to me, could you give a soundbite about what was the before and after? I can simply tell you that my life became more possible. The power of choice seemed to be restored, and a level of personal creativity, meaning me being able to actually create my life from my heart, all of a sudden came online. So I would say that's what happened for me in those 10 months that I took that training.
I think it's beautifully said, and I appreciate you sharing it.
And the level 2 courses, I haven't taken all of them yet, but I took I took Stress and Vitality is one of those level 2 modules, and I took that with you. I don't even know if you remember that, a number of years ago, it was the first major exposure I had to you, and I sincerely fell in love with you as a teacher, and had a profound experience there, carried me even more deeply into these practices, simply because there was a real pragmatic thing to it for me. It's not for me. It's not all woo-woo. It's not all spiritual. It's not all out there. Just simply, I can palpably feel lighter on my feet, quieter in my mind, and more joy in being alive for having done these practices and having learned, let's say, just a more profound access to a meditative state. Mm-hmm. Now, last summer, I took the 21 Stages of Meditation course with you in Boulder, Colorado. Okay. Yet another profound experience. I was with my wife at the time, Kia, whom you know, and we both had a very profound experience, so much so that we remarked, this is something that we have to bring to Los Angeles.
That was the beginning of that seed. That's right.
And so we're doing that now, and I'm so excited and honored that you've agreed to come and teach this course from October 10th through the 16th, 2015, right here in about a month in Los Angeles, California.
And I'm thoroughly excited about this. And not just because of you, although you do excite me, and I do love your expression of that true self. How do you find that place of wisdom? How do you bring more joy into the choices you make? And how do you, as you put it, switch from the frequencies of our old habits and addictions to the frequency of sustained self and recovery?
How can a course like the 21 Stages help us?
Well, let me speak about it personally, as opposed to describing it, because after all, I've done an awful lot of meditations and all these designs over the years. And just as in the beginning, I was always looking for the thing that touched the essential. That's what I wanted. What would touch the essential? What would touch my heart? What would give me the location within myself and the stillness? Like when you said, oh, there's a stillness and there's an ability to reach out with joy, right? What would do that, and what would allow it to sort of mature and stabilize? This was really important to me because I saw so many people have what I call weekend workshop phenomena. So they get a great experience for sure, and they learn something too. And yet they got back in the freeway and it was Maniac City, or they get back in their relationship and it didn't transfer somehow. And I found that there was something that had to be delicately, beautifully, but powerfully addressed, and that was the presence and the nature of my heart, the true self, the sense of self, as you do even the meditations. Otherwise, a lot of people would just go, take one meditation for a long time or seek a lot of different meditations, but something was needed. And that little piece was what we came to when I did this course, when I had this experience, and when I went through the process of understanding what does it mean to develop a beautiful place, this sense of true self. In order to do that, and I think the reason this makes it so special is that Yogi Bhajan said, look, you have to go through the experiential stages of this, not just the philosophic stages, not just, there's many very nice schemas in all different traditions that look at these stages. But he made it practical, and that's what I liked about Kundalini Yoga. So here's 21 stages. Well, it's not climbing a ladder, it's like a circle. Here's if you stand in the center and you look around at all of your different experiences of you that you have to bring together into that heart, hold in that special place, those are the stages of meditation. So the thing that makes it for me really different and made me stop and say, this I have to write. It's not like, here, I signed it, or, it's your job. I wrote it, I donated it, yes, to KRI, so it goes on, so it gets spread. But I had to write it because this was like my earliest calling. What's that piece that brings it all together and lets me sit here? And what's the result of doing it? You learn the stages of meditations as an understanding, but more than that, you go deep in the experience of finding that place in oneself. And that's why this is one course that normally you go through in Kundalini Yoga. You'll go through a level 1, a level 2. You learn a lot of things. You do it, got it. But 21 Stages is open to everybody. And a lot of people realize it's like going in for that refreshment. They come back again and again. Because it's not just learning, here's some meditations. It's not, oh, I had a good experience. It's like savoring this place. Like, you talk to someone you love many times. You go into that place on the mountain where there's a beautiful waterfall and you go and you refresh. It's like that. And so that's why this course, no matter how many other things I'd written, I found a really special place in my own heart, in my own feeling.
So for anybody who's watching that's interested in signing up for the 21 Stages of Meditation course and having this experience, I guess Gurucharan sums it up when he says, if you're interested in going to infinity and back and having that experience and being able to be present and effective and fully expressive, fully creative here in this time and space, in this crazy world in which we live, come and have this experience with us. You can sign up at 21stagesofmeditation.com. So it's the number 21, stagesofmeditation.com. That's all one word. And come join us in Los Angeles this October 10th through the 16th. And we'll celebrate our true selves and the finding of our true selves, and we'll also celebrate Gurucharan's birthday while we get a moment.
Clarity, energy, and a dash of humor, which always comes when you get through all this stuff.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you, Gurucharan, for your time and explaining it all today.
Thank you, Tommy.
All right. Much love.
Sat Nam.
Sat Nam.